Yes guys, what's going on? So in today's video it's going to be a bit of a different one. We're going to be reviewing APL Audio's Virtuoso 2. Now I'll be honest, I never used version 1. They sent me this out to review and I've been using it on a couple of my tracks and it sounds wicked. So without further ado, let's get into the video and show you what Virtuoso 2 can do.
I will love you endlessly.
So I will start by saying this. So when they've sent me the plugin, there's no input of what I need to say or anything like that. So this is going to be a completely honest review. So whatever I say about the plugin today and what I think about it is exactly how I feel. I should also say as well that if you have got Virtuoso 1, this is a free update. So if you go onto their website, you will be able to update to version 2. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the project. Okay, so we've got the plugin open here. And straight away we can see that obviously we have this head in the middle of the room with the two monitors there. Now what this is showing is where these monitors are sitting. So what this plugin is basically emulating is different studios, different rooms, different places that you would listen to music normally. Now how I use this plugin is I will go through these room presets and I will basically hear how it sounds in these different rooms. So if we go into the room presets, we can see there's a listening room here, APL's listening room, and there's all these different ones here: home studio, living room, dubbing stage. There's 7 of them. So what we can do is if we go through to say living room, we can listen to how our song would sound in a living room or how it would sound in a home cinema. Now obviously we have these different parameters here as to where we can adjust them as well. You know, if you want it to sound a bit more, this ambience knob here is more like a room reverb. That's what it sounds like to me. It gives it a bit more ambience, a bit more like of a verby feel. Gives it like it makes the room sound bigger. This one is how quick, to me, I think it's how quick the ambience happens, and then the distance is. This one is pretty crazy. So you can do the distance of how far away you want the speakers to be from your head. So obviously we have living room 2 meters away. You've got home cinema, we could adjust that so that they're closer. You know, the APL listening room, you could adjust that so that they're more further away or they're closer. You know, you could basically emulate your studio, or you could go on to say Abbey Road's website and you could say, I want it to sound like Abbey Road Studio, and you could basically find how far away the monitors would be if you was to sit in the middle of an Abbey Road studio, and you could recreate that studio to how you want it to sound. Now if you did want to edit different bits of it, so I've got this EQ going on at the minute and you can edit this from here. So if I click number 1, I can then edit the frequencies as to where I want this band to sit. You know, if I want it to have more bass, if I want it to have less bass, you know, the list goes on. But how I've done this is if we click on this little HPC EQ button at the bottom, there's different headphone settings here. So I've got the Audio Technica ATH M50s. So if I click on that, it gives me this layout of the EQ. Now, this setting of the EQ is basically, it's trying to emulate in my speaker, in my headphones. It knows, you know, how bassy my headphones are, how the high end reacts to different sounds, and it'll adjust those sounds so it sounds like you're sitting in that studio. It sounds pretty crazy, and it is pretty crazy, but if we just listen to that with none and we're listening to the APL listening room, so if I just play this track here, that sounds like I'm sat in a room somewhere. Now if I pause that and I go onto my headphones, it changes it so that it sounds more suiting to my headphones, and it is very, very accurate as well. In my opinion, it is very accurate. So if we move into the settings as well, regarding this where we have the head in the middle and you've got the two speakers here, if we go into the settings bit, you can also do head tracking. Now I'll leave a link to the website of how you can do that, and it'll show you on their website how you can do that, so you can set it up. But basically what that means is if I turn my head to the left or I turn it to the right, the speakers will stay where they are and I can like spin round and listen to it like I'm actually sat inside the room. It's that to me is just pretty crazy. And obviously as well, room size. I've said before, if you wanted the room size of an Abbey Road studio, you could look at the room size of the Abbey Road studios, and you could adjust the room size, the width, the length, the height of those rooms to make it sound like you're sat in that room. And it's all without having to pay the big money to go and like rent these studios, or to have these really nice expensive monitors or things like that, or nice acoustically treated rooms. You know, you could just put this plugin onto your master channel and you're sat in Abbey Road Studios or whatever studio you want to be in. It's just it's crazy. And obviously, you know, you can adjust the room size, you can adjust the length, the height, and then to your specification, and you'll have then that room in your headphones, which it's just crazy. And then within this as well, this view section here, you can also, if we right click on these, you have the different sounds. So what you can do is you can solo the left channel, and then you can also solo the right channel. Or then also, obviously, you can mute the channels as well, which is kind of the same, you know, but you're just going to do it on a different one that you want to mute. Now, if we look at these, now there's a couple of other settings as well that you can use in this. I don't ever normally use it, so what I will do is I'll leave a link in the description down below to their website, to a couple of videos that will show you how to use this properly. But if you go into the input config here, you can basically configure it so that you can use it for Dolby Atmos. So you could mix Dolby Atmos within your headphones, which again is crazy. You don't need to go out and buy all these different monitors and have the bigger expensive setup when you could just mix it in your headphones. And obviously, as before, as I said, with the two left and right monitors, you can solo them all. You know, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Go into your settings, change the room size, you know, whatever it is that you want to do in this plugin to make it sound as best as you possibly can, to mix these different things and mix in these different ways and different rooms. APL has got you covered. Like, this Virtuoso 2 is crazy, and the fact that they've now got an EQ on it as well, which I think V1 didn't have. You know, it's configuring it to your headphones. You know, if you've got focal headphones, if you've got Avantone headphones, if you've got all these headphones, this will do it all for you. It's just it's a crazy plugin. So that's Virtuoso V2, and honestly, I can promise you now that you will not regret getting this plugin. You know, for you not to have to spend thousands of pounds to get a world-class studio, for you to just be able to have your headphones and, you know, click your setting of your headphones and it then EQs your headphones to that studio. You know, you can change the width of the studio, the length of the studio, the height of the studio. Everything about it in this plugin is just crazy, and I would highly recommend going and grabbing yourself it. I'll leave a link in the description for the website, and I'll leave a link in the description for the video that basically tells you how you can work it with Dolby Atmos. So as I said, I wouldn't be the person to come on here and start saying, you know, this is how you use it with Dolby Atmos, because I don't ever use Dolby Atmos. I use this plugin to listen to how it would sound in different rooms, as I said, to fix my mix, to see what it would sound like in these different rooms. And for it to have a plugin that does that without having to go to these different rooms and spend thousands of pounds, it's just saving you so much time and so much money, and it's making your mixes 10 times better. So if you like this video, make sure you click like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you go out there, go into the description and go to this plugin and check it out, because honestly, you will not regret it. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.